What is marine environment or marine habitats? Marine habitats are habitats that support marine life. Marine life depends in some way on the salt water that is in the sea. The term marine comes from the Latin mare, meaning sea or ocean. A habitat is an ecological or environmental area inhabited by one or more living species. The marine environment supports many kinds of these habitats. The second one is the major source of marine pollution. So, the major parts of marine pollution is by the products of industry, runoff from agricultural pesticides and herbicides, discharge from the urban areas, and last is the exploration and exploitation activities. So those are the major parts of marine pollution. The next is the impacts, hazards to humans, animals, and shipping industry. For me, small beaches or tourist spots can be damaged caused by the pollution for animals. The house or home of the also known as coral reefs can be destroyed, which might affect the food chain as well, and for shipments it could cause incidents. The last question is explain MARPOL Convention history when it was adopted, entered into force, and its objectives, including all the regulation of MARPOL Annex 1 to 6. So the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, or MARPOL, is the main international convention covering prevention of pollution of the marine environment by ships from operational or accidental causes. The MARPOL Convention was adopted on November 2, 1973 at IMO. The Protocol of 1978 was adopted in response to a spate of tanker accidents in 1976 to 1977. As the new 1973 MARPOL Convention had not yet entered into force, the 1978 MARPOL Protocol absorbed the parent convention. The combined instrument entered into force on October 2, 1983. In 1997, a protocol was adopted to amend the convention, and a new Annex 6 was added, which entered into force on May 19, 2005. MARPOL has been updated by amendments through the years. The convention includes regulation aimed at preventing and minimizing pollution from ships, both accidental pollution and that from routine operations, and currently includes 6 technical annexes. Special areas with strict controls on operational discharge are included in most annexes. So let's proceed to the Annex 1 to 6. First, Annex 1. Annex 1 is regulation for prevention of pollution by oil. So, Annex 1 is prevention of pollution by oil from operational measures as well as from accidental discharge. The 1992 amendments to Annex 1 made it mandatory for new oil tankers to have double hulls and brought in a phase-in schedule for existing tankers to fit double hulls, which has subsequently revised in 2001 and 2003. Next one is Annex 2. Annex 2 regulation for the control of pollution by noxious liquid substances in a bulk. So the discharge criteria and measures for the control of pollution by noxious liquid substances carried in a bulk. Some 250 substances were evaluated and included in the list appended to the convention. The discharge of their residues is allowed only to reception facilities until certain concentration and conditions, which vary with the category of substances, are complied with. The third one is Annex 3. Annex 3, prevention of pollution by harmful substances carried by sea in a package form. So, contains general requirements for the issuing of detailed standards on packing, marking, labeling, documentation, storage, quantity, limitation, exception, and notifications. For the purpose of this annex, harmful substances are those substances which are identified as marine pollutants in the International Maritime Dangerous Goods Code, or IMDG Code, or which meet the criteria in appendix of Annex 3. The fourth one is the Annex 4, Prevention of Pollution by Sewage from Ships. Contains requirements to protocol pollution of the sea by sewage. The discharge of sewage into the sea is prohibited except when the ship has in operation an approved sewage treatment plant, or when the ship is discharging comminuted and disinfected sewage using an approved system in distance of more than 3 nautical miles from the nearest and sewage which not comminuted or disinfected has to discharge at distance of more than 12 nautical miles from the nearest land. The fifth is Annex 5. Annex 5 is Prevention of Pollution by Garbage from Ships. Deals with different types of garbage and specifies the distances from the land and the manner in which they may be disposed of. The most important feature of Annex is the complete ban imposed on the disposal into the sea of all forms of plastics. The last one is the Annex 6. Annex 6 is the prevention of air pollution from ships. The last one is Annex 6. Annex 6 is the prevention of air pollution from ships. Set limits on sulfur oxide and nitrogen oxide emission from ships exhaust and prohibits deliberate emissions of ozone depleting substances. A chapter adopted in 2011 covers mandatory technical and operational energy efficiency measures and at reducing greenhouse gas emission from ships. So that's all for my discussion, and thank you.
Isib sa